Great for grilling, Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Red and white seedless grapes, just $3.99 per pound, saving you $2. Lactate ice cream, hot price, just $4.99 for a 1-quart tub. Save $1.21 on select varieties of Eggo waffles, only $8.99 for a 29.6-ounce box. Save $2 on bird's eye corn on the cob, only $5.09 for a package of 12. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, a deserved hero's welcome for the Bermuda senior men's football team as they returned home after a fantastic showing at the 2019 Gold Cup. The Gombe Warriors saved their best performance for last night's encounter against Nicaragua to emerge victorious by a score of 2-0. And while it was their only victory, the squad gave a more than adequate account of themselves throughout, earning positive reviews from commentators and observers who hailed our boys as the find of the tournament. Levita Fogo, the Minister of Labor, Community and Sports, was on hand for last night's match against Nicaragua, and she has confirmed that the ministry, in conjunction with the Department of Youth, Sports and Recreation, is planning a celebratory motorcade in the coming days to honor the winning team. The ministry will share the details on the motorcade's date and time in due course. Elsewhere, Zane De Silva, the Minister of Tourism and Transport, has made a $50,000 contribution to the team out of his own pocket as a reward for their historic performance and the sense of pride they have created among the people of this country. We'll have more on the Gombe Warriors' exploits in tonight's Sportscast with Earl Baisden. In other news, police are warning people who post threats of violence against gay persons that they will be investigated with the appropriate action taken. It comes after some people unhappy over plans for the island's first ever gay pride parade in August took to social media to call for gay persons to be harmed, including being shot. The police service on Friday issued a statement in support of the parade and the local LGBT community. Tarai Trott brings us the story.
One person writing on the social media site Facebook recently, in an apparent reaction to plans of the island's first ever gay pride parade, blatantly sends out a rallying call for gunmen and writes, quote, "Where will be the sharpshooters and all the gunmen? Now is the time to show your steel." The comment is met with others from stunned residents who point out that the poster's words represent a threat of violence. Others condemn the statement as vile and as instigating violence. Another person triggered shock on the social networking site when, in an apparent response to other Facebook reactions to news of the event, appeared to quip, quote, "I hope you all don't catch a stray when the time comes." Some on the page took the remark lightly while others expressed their disapproval. Comments like these have been noted by the LGBT community, with some expressing concern. One member of the community who is not so worried is Mark Anderson, who plays the popular drag character Sybil Barrington, the Queen of Bermuda. Mr. Anderson made news for being one of the early public supporters of LGBT rights.
Well, Tarai, for me personally, I can only speak from my experience, stuff like that doesn't really concern me. And what I mean by that is, Tarai, is that I had the privilege of living outside of Bermuda for a few years, and had the pleasure of seeing how things operate in the U.S., Canada, as well as London. And even in the international countries and stuff like that, even today, even though that the countries have moved forward, for the gay community, you still have people that make threats. You see what I'm saying?
The Bermuda Police Service says it has been in contact with the LGBT group known as Out Bermuda, with Commissioner Stephen Corbishley stating, "The service represents and supports all aspects of our diverse communities, and we want to be alongside the LGBTQ people to celebrate their identity and have confidence that their police service is there when they have need." Mr. Anderson welcomes the words of support.
And I'm sure that the powers that be, which is the wonderful police commissioner, Mr. Stephen Corbishley, I believe that's the way how you say his name, but, I commend him. I commend him for stepping up to the plate.
Asked for his belief on the underlying issues of some of the people posting hateful and homophobic remarks on social media, Mr. Anderson telling us,
"It's all about learning how to respect other people, other people's choices in life. And when you really get to the root of things, really there are some underlying issues with those individuals, stuff that they're suffering from a childhood, and again, that's really not my concern. That's the concern of the individual, and quite frankly, I feel sorry for them, to a certain degree.
The BPS notes that Bermuda has many people, particularly young people, who may feel alone or isolated due to their sexual orientation or are subject to hateful comments or actions. This is not right, say police, and they state all communities deserve respect and equality. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tarai. Mr. Anderson has since declared that his National Hero 2019 is none other than Commissioner of Police Stephen Corbishley for his support of the LGBT community. Elsewhere, the female impersonator encourages the public to turn out for two events honoring the LGBT community in the month of August. On August 29th, there will be a screening of the classic film Mommy Dearest, starring Faye Dunaway, and on August 30th, Mr. Anderson will perform as Sybil Barrington, the self-professed Queen of Bermuda, along with fellow female impersonators. You can contact him on Facebook for details. In other news, the OBA leader Craig Cannonier has called on the ruling Progressive Labour Party to stop using the so-called race card when they are challenged. Mr. Cannonier, who is the opposition leader, is not happy over the way the Public Works Minister David Birch singled out independent Senator James Jardine last week for voting with the OBA's three senators. Senator Jardine and the OBA group had voted to amend a bill related to pay of staff of cabinet ministers, which was later rejected by the House of Assembly.
So to hear a minister get up and to get racial, in my estimation, because it was a white member who voted in favor of the bill, he never once spoke to the two black independent senators down there in Senate. That's why I know it's racial, because he should have brought out all three of them. These three independent senators also are the same ones who voted against the municipalities bill. Did he make a fuss then? No, he didn't. And so we got to get to the point whereby we're not, when you can't find an answer or a reason why you're turning down something, that we go and revert to race. When you're running out of answers, that's what we're hearing from this government. We need to get good answers from the questions that are being asked and be comprehensive.
Elsewhere, the Premier has defended the government's decision to hold meetings of the House of Assembly on every other Friday instead of weekly, as has been the tradition.
I mean, the House of Assembly is a place where we pass legislation. In other overseas territories, the House of Assembly sits once a month. I mean, there is a practice that we've had, but the fact is that there is work in government to do. And a lot of work that's done in government does not require us to come up here and amend laws. It's changed the policy, it's changed the process, it's making sure that things get done on the execution side. So when there's legislation, we have 4 bills today, we'll have a very long session, then we'll come back in 2 weeks and there'll be another particular item, another particular raft of legislation, which we're going to do.
And coming up, a landmark ruling to protect children in family court welcomed by charities, the latest weather forecast, and so much more. Stay with us.
Girl, come my way, no matter what time of day. Babes, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Babes, hey, babes, you know I said
I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal. Yeah, we're kinda important, for real.
we no frightened for your spondyle. But you have one shoes alone, I'm a pill. Enough of them lose them soul for gain the world. When I switch for the table turn, I'm not frightened for Benz and Beamer. I'm in a sell out my friends, them neither. Enough of them lose them soul for gain the world. When I switch for the table turn.
You can count on us.
Driscoll strawberries, only $4.99 per 1 pound package, saving $2. Fresh ground beef family pack, just $2.99 per pound, saving $1. Hot price on old time butter bread, only $4.99 for a 22-ounce loaf. Select varieties of Kool-Aid drink mix, just $5.39 for a 20-ounce tub. Keto diet approved epic pork rinds, only $4.99 for a 2.5-ounce bag, saving $1. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
4K ready box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
Welcome back. A landmark ruling on the Court of Appeal that ends decades of children going without proper representation in family court, welcomed by the charities involved in the lawsuit. By the law, the Ministry of Legal Affairs is required to facilitate a program to fund litigation guardians to act in the interest of children. Jasmine Patterson explains.
3 unnamed children, plus the Human Rights Commission, charities Child Watch, Citizens Uprooting Racism in Bermuda, the Coalition for the Protection of Children, the Family Center, SCARS, and the Women's Resource Center won a legal battle against the Attorney General. They claimed that due to the minister's failure to provide a litigation guardian, not a single child was provided with representation from 1998 to 2016, and that only a tiny proportion have been protected from 2016 to today. The Court of Appeal ruled that because of such a breach, children are being and have been denied effective access to representation, which is in breach of their human rights under Section 6(8) of the Constitution. In a joint statement, the charity said, "We are extremely thankful and happy with the judgment." It further identifies that for at least 20 years, the government of each political persuasion has had an unacceptable and flagrant disregard for children, as it has entirely failed to follow the law that provided children protection in family court proceedings. They went on to describe the purpose of a litigation guardian, whom is not a lawyer and is not employed by either the Department of Child and Family Services or the government. This ensures, they say, they are not conflicted, limited to, or influenced by government policies or directives. The litigation guardian is an entirely independent social worker whose sole duty is to safeguard the interests of the child. The Court of Appeal said although the Minister of Legal Affairs did not have a duty to fund a legal guardian, she was responsible for setting up some form of scheme that would provide funding for guardians and counsel, that no scheme has been promoted since 1998, and that the minister had not complied with her duties. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Legal Affairs stated when the judgment was handed down, quote, "In some ways we are ahead of the ruling and are well advanced in our initiative to enhance the support of our children during the court process, so that their voices will continue to be heard and to ensure that all outcomes are in their best interests," end quote. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, turning to weather news, hazy sunshine with a few possible showers for our Wednesday. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the latest forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast on ZBM is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. I'm meteorologist Jeff Cornish with your AccuWeather forecast. Looking pretty decent out there. We have a couple of batches of moisture and cloud cover kind of scooting across the sky from northwest to southeast. There is very limited moisture in the lower part of the atmosphere, so most of this is crossing totally dry without much fanfare. We do expect to be dry for most of this forecast, really. Better chance for showers at the very end of the week. We'll look at that in a moment. But in the meantime, we're at 80 degrees, humidity holding at 67%. Wind is light and from the south at only 5 to 10 knots. Most of us are around 8, 9 knots. Water temp holding steady at 82. On the inside, where it's not totally flat and calm, we have waves no larger than 1 foot. And on the outside, we're down to 2 to 3 feet. Yesterday it was 2 to 4 feet. So we have been dealing with a decrease in the wind, and the waves are responding to these calmer winds. As we look at the upcoming tides, the tide is going out this evening. Low tide hits at 9:50 tonight. High tide at 3:40 in the middle of the night when most of us are sleeping. Another low tide around late morning, and then a high tide in the late afternoon, 4:18 on your Wednesday. So tonight we'll go partly cloudy, 75. It is a little humid out there. And when it comes to the futurecast, these little skiffs or batches of cloud cover are about all we can really find. Low-level winds are actually from the south, and we don't expect to see much in the way of rain anytime too soon. So we'll go with a mix of sunshine and some clouds. 83, your expected high for Wednesday. And when we look at the Caribbean outlook down to the south, pretty nice setup into Jamaica, Barbados. This is good weather for tourism, both here in Bermuda and also to the south. It's nice if there are no tropical threats anytime in the next few days through the rest of June. We look like it appears that we will be moving through the end of the month without tropical development. So that's some good news. Trinidad and Tobago could see some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm down that way, more likely just showers. There will be some scattered storms late Wednesday into Toronto. And Miami has the nearly daily chance of showers and storms. By the way, they hit 98 on Monday in Miami, tying a daily record, matching the date from 1944, and also tying their monthly record for June, 98 degrees. They've done it several times in the month of June. New York, Boston, Atlanta, generally dry, fair weather, a little warm in Atlanta. London looks nice. Extra cloud cover, but 71, pretty comfortable weather. Mentioned our chance for showers. It'll really come on Friday with just a few showers. They will not last long. Most of Friday really features more dry hours than wet, but some spotty showers will be in the neighborhood. Behind that, we're right back to where we started. More sun than clouds, highs real consistent around 83. Low temperatures may drop by a degree or two behind that little Friday system down to 73. And then we begin to work our way back up to 74. Hardly a perceptible change. So it's a nice forecast. Good news for at least the visitors in from out of town.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
And you are watching the Tuesday edition of Bermuda Tonight. A recent debate in both houses of the legislature during the past month concerning the obligations to make public the details of various contract payments has caught the attention of Information Commissioner Gatangele Gutierrez. Ms. Gutierrez clarified today that on April 1, 2015, the Public Access to Information, or PATI Act 2010, went into effect. The PATI Act, she reminded, requires all public authorities to publish in the Official Gazette the following details of contracts with total values of $50,000 or more. And they include the name of the contractor, the monetary value of the contract, the goods or services to be provided under the contract, and the time for performance of the contract. For example, the completion or delivery date. These contract details must be gazetted in accordance with the PATI Act unless a particular contract detail would constitute exempt information. Exempt information is defined in the specific provisions in Part 4 of the PATI Act. Under the PATI Act, an exempt contract detail does not need to be gazetted, but all other non-exempt contract details must still be gazetted for the public. The definition of a public authority is set out in the schedule to the PATI Act. In addition, a list of public authorities is provided on the Information Commissioner's Office website at www.ico.bm. In other news, Bitcoin is on a roll, and it may have Facebook to thank. The cryptocurrency has spiked to around $11,000, its highest in 15 months. Some analysts point to growing optimism over the adoption of cryptos after Facebook unveiled its Libra digital coin last week. But there's still a big issue facing companies who trade in cryptocurrencies: how to protect themselves from hacks, theft, and other risks. But as Tony Waterman reports, one firm in Bermuda thinks it has a solution.
In the winter of 2004, in a Harvard dorm room, a group of friends started what would become the biggest social media company in the world. 15 years later, Facebook has 2.4 billion monthly active users and is worth more than $550 billion. So when it unveiled its own cryptocurrency, Libra, people took notice.
Facebook's attempting, I guess, to be what PayPal was originally intended to be, which is something that's the equivalent to digital cash.
The jury is still out on whether Facebook will actually get the coin off the ground. Regulations could be stringent, central banks are raising questions, and Facebook hasn't exactly been the best steward of users' personal data. But that may not matter. The mere fact that Facebook and its big-name partners like Visa, MasterCard, and Uber are considering a coin has given cryptos a level of credibility early adopters have craved.
So join us as we move towards a world where money works for everyone.
But even as cryptos look poised to crack into the mainstream, protecting the risk associated with them remains elusive. Until now. Marsh Management Services recently helped a customer set up what it believes to be a first-of-its-kind crypto captive in Bermuda.
Many of these companies are startup operations, and it becomes quite difficult for any startup operation in any industry to buy insurance, even for more regular insurance. So for a startup company that doesn't have a long track record in a new industry, such as the crypto commerce industry is generally, then it's very difficult for them to provide that cover and also to do so at a reasonably economic price.
The unnamed firm is starting slow, self-insuring digital assets which could be stolen from cold storage. That's an offline wallet and is considered one of the safest ways to store cryptos. But Marsh's Mike Parrish says the captive has bigger ambitions.
They're looking at using that vehicle to offer insurance to other customers and to also expand the use of the captive in different areas.
Parrish sees crypto commerce as a major opportunity for Bermuda and says the team has already fielded a half-dozen inquiries from firms considering the model. There is also room to expand. The cannabis industry also struggles to get insurance, and Marsh's Shelby Weldon says there's been interest from Canadian companies and that a cannabis captive could be on the horizon.
There was significant debate as to whether or not this is something that we would want to take on as a country. But the BMA and the Bermuda government were wise enough to recognize that in a place like Canada, where the Canadian federal government has legalized cannabis, across all provinces, then, there is a reduction in that reputational risk.
Both cryptocurrencies and cannabis offer an opportunity for Bermuda's captive industry to offer new, innovative products in an increasingly competitive space. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tony. Well, Earl Basin will have all the latest in sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Here's Earl with tonight's sports, and you can bet he's going to proudly focus on our Gombe Warriors.
Following Bermuda's historic win over Nicaragua last evening, President Mark Wade was overjoyed with the team's performance.
For a team that's the first Gold Cup, first time playing at this level, 3 games in short space of time at this level, I'm more than happy. It's just proves to me that the work that we're doing is on the right path. We just really want to learn the lessons from what we've done here, make some adjustments, make some improvements, and move on.
Osaji Bascom discussed the team's overall performance.
I think overall this is just the icing on the cake. I think the 2 matches previous to this, we came out with less than what we expected. We won it all 9 points. We only got 3, but we came against 2 tough opposition, and this has just put the icing on the cake for the whole nation. I just want to thank everybody that came out and supported. I hope you done your proud.
Having to come on the game quickly to replace Callan Miners, who was suffering from a concussion, Jalen Harvey said he didn't have much time to prepare.
I had to be ready, but I didn't get much of a warm-up in either. So I think I started off kind of rough. It's hard coming in to a game mentally and physically when you start on the bench, especially after not expecting to. But you have to do what you have to do. You never know what's going to happen.
Youngster Marco Warren was pleased with getting the opportunity to start in a Gold Cup match.
At the end of the day, this is, what you work hard for. When the opportunity comes, that's what preparation is for. So I'm just happy to really get a showing after pretty much not playing for months. So, yeah.
I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting News. Bermuda was alive last evening in New Jersey, coming away with a 2-0 victory over Nicaragua in their final CONCACAF Gold Cup match, following second-half strikes from Lejon Simmons and Naki Wells. Coach Kyle Lipon explained the feelings following this particular game.
The emotions is real right now for us. I think we finished the tournament off well. We didn't play as well as we possibly can, but though we managed the game really well today. We knew we could catch them on the break, and the first goal was exactly what we worked on, so it was pleased to see. We swapped the wingers around, and so just to give them a little different angle, like we said, we're learned. So we have to come out doing different things at times. So I'm pleased with that because that's a change that we talked about before the game if it's not going our way, and that happened to work.
Captain Dante Levrock was proud of everyone's performance.
We came in, we wanted, like I said, we wanted to win. We knew they were a good team as well, but they hadn't scored, so a clean sheet was important for us. That was our focus, and we always trusted our strikers. We got 2 goals, open play, Lejon. What a performance. Naki got another goal for him as well, but everyone played well. Saji back and Willie Clements, and I'm so proud of the back four, Dale Eve. I could give accolades to everyone, but I'm just so proud of them, and, we wanted this win to make that history, and again, make that stepping stone for us going into the Nations League.
Striker Naki Wells, who scored 2 goals in the tournament, said the world now is taking a look at Bermuda.
I think we kind of shocked ourselves, the nation, the competition, and the world, really. It's disappointing to be leaving the competition, obviously, after probably 3 really good performances. But we know what we can produce and what we can do now. I think this is a minimum of moving forward of what we can offer. We've got some big games coming up, so this has given us a good platform and a good guideline going into those fixtures.
The Department of Youth and Sport have released the 23 national sport governing bodies who are currently recognized by the government. Sports that stand out that are not listed include the Bermuda Amateur Swimming Association, the Bermuda Bowling Federation, and the Bermuda Rugby Football Union. Nathan Trott signed on the dotted line as he is now an on-loan player to AFC Wimbledon for the season from West Ham United. 4 Bermuda sailors were set to begin the 2019 Optimus European Championships in France. However, due to light winds, racing was called off for the day. Darray Rollins was in the Sussex team that took on Durham in a Specsavor County Championship 4-day match. Durham won the toss and they decided to bat. They recovered from 90 for 5 to reach 259 for 5 after 80 overs at the close of play. Opener Cameron Bancroft is at the wicket on 120 not out, while Ned Eckersley is 70 not out. Chris Jordan was leading the Sussex bowling attack with figures of 21 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 41. Rollins had bowled 2 overs, giving up 4 runs in the match. In Bermuda Basketball League action last evening inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium saw a doubleheader. In the opening game, the Hamilton City Twisters edged the Ward Rimrockers 57-56. Second game of the night saw the Southampton Wolfpack defeat the St. George's Hoopstars 51-45. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Enjoy memorable moments brought to you by ZipX.
Cal is back. He's been hearing about open internet and wonders if it applies to Bermuda. The short answer is yes. Open internet or net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers, referred to as ISPs, must provide access to all lawful websites and online data equally, regardless of whether you're posting pictures to Instagram, watching your favorite sports team, or even streaming movies from Netflix. Without open internet, ISPs could influence what you see and how quickly you see it by speeding up some services and slowing down or even blocking your access to legal content or apps. The regulatory authority is developing rules for open internet to protect consumers by making it clear to ISPs what they can and cannot do with internet traffic. And we'd like your input. Just visit rab.bm and submit your feedback by clicking on the public consultation for open internet link between May 20th and June 28th. Make sure your voice is heard.
And before we go, a huge congratulations to the Gombe Warriors from all of us here at Bermuda Broadcasting. We're very proud of you. That's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.